Good morning and welcome to another Gribbly's Folly, Sunday antisocial hour, that time each week when I smoke my pipe and complain about humanity while answering all of its questions. If you are a piece of humanity with a question for me, leave it in the comments down below using the hashtag AskGribbs. I will answer any question. I will answer personal questions, intimate questions, awkward questions, anything you can imagine. I will solve and cease the worrying in your black little questioning heart. Now, normally I complain a lot. This is what you're here for. You want to hear me bitch about my friends and neighbors, but this is coming to you, I hope. I hope this is coming to you at a special time of year. This is the Sunday after Thanksgiving, right? The Sunday after we've all gotten together and spent time with our families. We've all gone shopping on Black Friday. We've stepped outside of our normal lives. We've gotten into the hustle and bustle of the holiday season. We've all started to put aside our differences and we come together and we realize that untreated mental illness is a hell of a drug. Good God, what is wrong with us? Like, seriously, have you looked at society during this time of year? Have you looked at yourself in the mirror? I think, here's my theory. So there's lots of people and they go through life and they're not crazy enough to have to get into therapy, but they're still crazy. Like there's no one out there that doesn't need some help. Then there's people like me, where at some point in your life, you're like, oh, like if I want to keep functioning, like I really have to deal with this. And then there's people less functioning, where they don't get therapy because they're just too, like, you know, the people that we see without homes, the people that really become a problem in our society. They're not self-aware enough to realize they really need some help. So what do? Do we just would everybody get therapy? We have to normalize in our society. Like instead of being like, you're the craziest son of a bitch I've ever seen, you need to just say, listen, I really hope that you can find some way of understanding what it is that's going on inside you, because you need a little bit of insight. In the checkout line at the TJ Maxx, where you've just bloodied someone up to get an extra 10% off on underwear or whatever the hell it is we do on Black Friday. I think each of us, each adult in this society has to reckon with this idea that, like, just maybe the dude who is like, yeah, you should leave all your possessions and follow a path of spirituality, maybe that guy is not the reason for our incredibly corrosive fourth quarter earnings. Like, okay, so there's this base cognitive dissonance that pulls us all through this season. Have you read the story of Thanksgiving? Like the real one, not the one that they're still in 2023 telling to my kid in school. That, oh, geez, like I hate having to stop a family function to be like, hey, actually, you know, the white people, they killed all those Indians. I'm not making that up. I'm not being woke. That's what happened. Speaking of woke, speaking of being too woke, okay, listen, we'll come back to it because I'm on a roll here. Okay, look, it's good to give thanks. It's good to get together at the holidays and have time. Why does it have to be so dysfunctional? Why does it have to be this thing that we all know you look around the Thanksgiving table, you look around at other people out in the world and why are we doing this to ourselves? It's our job as people that have a little bit of self-awareness about the processes in here, it's our job to be able to, we need to normalize in society, whether you're carving the turkey or you're standing in line for your wrapping paper, you need to be able to look at people and instead of getting mad at them, you need to be able to say, would you please get some help? That's the most helpful I can be toward my fellow man in this time. Like geez, I really wish I could be better. I wish I could have some sort of holiday good regard, not even cheer. I wish I could get to positive regard for my fellow man. No, I do have a sincere desire to be like, please get some help. Rafa asks Gribbs, what are good stories or movies with pipe smoking in them besides, this is key, besides Tolkien and Conan Doyle? So I think that if you've been a pipe smoker for any length of time, or if you've been in the pipe culture or community, here on YouTube or elsewhere. By the way, I forgot the housekeeping. I'm smoking founder, geez, I gave myself so much credit. How many times have I interrupted myself so far in this video? But I gave myself so much credit last time for finishing my tin of Foundry, and then I forgot, I was going through my bag, and I realized that I had filled up my pouch that John Galdieri and family sent me with Foundry, and that's why I had felt like I made it through the tin, is I've still got like a quarter tin of Foundry in here. So I'm smoking Foundry, again, in my Stanwell pot. I think, I think this pipe might need a little bit of restoration. I can't decide if I want to send my pipes out to be restored or just buy a damn buffing wheel and do it myself. Anyway, what was I talking about? Right, so if you've been a pipe smoker for any length of time, excuse me, you start to get a little tired of the Tolkien, Conan Doyle references. It's like these are the only things we have to anchor our niche hobby to the wider popular culture, right? So I think this is a good question. It's also a hard one. Did Papa Smurf smoke a pipe? I can't remember. Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer is an excellent example, but again, a flawed one because it's a historical drama, right? So it casts pipe smoking back into history, which I think is why so many of us like it. It's a quaint, nostalgic thing to do. Actually, no, I'm gonna interrupt myself again. I don't think that's why we like it. I think that's why other people like it when we do it. That's why they tolerate us as, oh, my grandpa used to smoke a pipe and it smells. No, he didn't. Your grandpa was a terrible person. He should get some help. The other one that comes to mind, again, historical drama, Apollo 13, 11, whatever the Apollo one was with Tom Hanks where they didn't come back and they said, Houston, we have a problem. That one. Houston, we have pipes. Isn't that quaint? In reading My Side of the Mountain, Bando, I hope I'm not spoiling anything, but Bando it smokes a pipe. So Bando is a character that Sam Gribley comes upon in the woods. I won't spoil anything because there is a little bit of mystery about him, but he smokes a pipe. I think that he only smokes a pipe upon his second visit. But it's mentioned, it's not like, because the book is from the 50s, so it's not like, oh, and Bando had this gorgeous pipe that it was, it reminded me of my grandpa. No, it's like, and then Bando lit his pipe. That's it. That's it. It doesn't belabor the point. Speaking of belaboring the point, Gribbs, you're so woke. Everything is so woke, Gribbs. How can you beat up on these poor moms for liberty? You can't call these people fascists just because they want to ban books. Those moms for liberty, they're just looking out for the kids. Rolling Stone, right-wing Moms for Liberty organizer is a convicted sex offender. Philip Fisher Jr., which, by the way, I can't believe the leader of Moms for Liberty is trans. That's crazy that he's now presenting as a male. Oh no, wait, he was always just a dude. Some dude that organized the Moms for Liberty, some dude is a Republican ward leader, a pastor, and faith coordinator for the Moms for Liberty. He's convicted in 2012 for aggravated sexual abuse of a 14-year-old boy. Even though he pled guilty. But then he says, it was a political situation that happened between me and this other political operative in the campaign, which was affiliated with the something. Oh, who was that they were affiliated? Yeah, that's right, Donald Trump. But the fun thing about this story is that this is just the secondary thing that I found after I found the headline that made me want to bring this back up, which was from The Advocate, Moms for Liberty scrambles, removes leaders among Proud Boys link controversy. Gribbs, don't call these poor moms fascists. Oh, here's a picture. Here's a picture of them standing up with these guys that are throwing some hand gesture. I'm sure that hand gesture means liberty and not white power. Call me woke again in the comments. Go ahead, call me woke. Brian Fields asked Gribbs, if you could bring back any tobacco that has been discontinued, what would it be? For me, it would be McClellan's Blue Mountain and Orlick Dark Strong. Did they discontinue Dark Strong Kentucky? Really? All right, I gotta go check my cellar and see how much Dark Strong Kentucky I have. Gosh, I hope I still have some Orlick Dark Strong Oh, yeah. Yeah, you see that? That's what you call a YTPC flex right there. This is the problem with not having the time to keep up with things, is I don't know what's been discontinued, but it looks like it's true that DSK is gone, which is not good. So that's going to be my first answer. I want DSK to come back. In fact, when I'm finally done with this everlasting tin of Foundry, which at this point in the year is getting a little, like it's a great fall blend, but when you get into winter, I want something with a little more meat on its bones. I feel like it's too much of a lot bomb. So there's my first answer. If it's true that DSK is gone, I want DSK back. Second answer is Frogmorton's cellar. Fireplug 1701D made a VR to my comment saying I was worried about him because he left dark jokes in my comment section. I'm going to put a link to that down below. Go check out Fireplug's channel. And I wanted to say, sir, I hope you get the treatment that you need. It sounds like Fireplug has MS and he's trying to get it treated through the VA, which is, for those of you not in the States, the Veterans Administration hospital system is complex. I don't know a lot about the VA. I know a lot of people in the VA. I am not a veteran. People often mistake me for a veteran. I am not. I think it's because I talk in terms of like military history a lot. That's just because I'm a nerd. It's not because I actually did anything brave. I wanted to share a little bit about a situation I had, and I'm not making this about me. I'm using this to illustrate how difficult healthcare is. In the country. See, I started out the video saying everybody needs to go get health care, right? Go talk to a therapist. But let's be honest. So I have mobility issues, which is why we were talking about it to begin with. 3 years into this thing, 3 years into starting to not really be able to walk that well, I finally have a diagnosis that seems right, that I agree with, that fits all the criteria, which is a basic overuse injury. I have tendinopathy in my posterior tibialis on my left side. But it took this entire time, it took 3 doctors, 3 physical therapists, a bunch of woo massage therapists telling me I need to clean my chakras or whatever. That's what it took to get here. And I've had shots, and I've had high-powered meds, and I've had all this stuff. And they want to do surgery. The doctors just want to operate. I bought I spent so much money on apparatus, insoles and braces and all this stuff to help me walk. I wanted to share because the MS thing came up. I do not have MS, but at one point during all this, I saw a physical therapist, and when she was doing her intake exam, I exhibited clonus in my ankles, which is a neurological response. I've had it my entire life. I was a little wary when she got there because clonus is how we first knew that my son had cerebral palsy. But I've had it my whole life, and it's never been a problem. But when she found the clonus, she said, before we do anything, you need to book an MRI to rule out MS or some horrible neurological, like Huntington's or whatever. Okay, that's a scary thing to hear, right? And I, of course, have anxiety. So okay, you're right. I'll book the MRI. If nothing else, we'll just rule this out. MRI, 4 months out. Okay, all right. I'll just try not to develop ulcers worrying about this for the next 4 months. Sure, that's no problem. But then when it finally comes, like, oh, tomorrow's the MRI. I've taken the day. You got the child care situation figured out. Going to be there at 7 in the morning. Can't eat or drink or have any metallic genital piercings or anything. I mean, just you got to put your whole life on hold. And the night before, they call me up and they're like, "Hey, we'll see you tomorrow. It's or bright and early, and that's going to be $1,200." What? I have insurance. I have good health insurance. And they're like, yeah, well, it doesn't really cover the type of the thing that the test is gonna, there's not the deducted fee that, I don't keep $1,200 on me. I guess I'll stop by the bank on my way to the 7:30 a.m. appointment and take out a loan. So I'm like on the phone with the lady, and I put her on hold, and I'm like looking at my wife, I'm like, do I wanna spend $1,200 to rule this out right now? Like if it's not a neurological condition, I've still got to spend all this money on the physical therapy and all the other stuff. Like I've got to treat what's actually wrong. Do I want to take the monetary risk to find out? And she's like, I have to live with you and your anxiety. Yes, spend the money. And I got back on the phone and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do, you know what? Screw you. I'm not going to do it. They're like, okay, well, we're going to have to charge you for canceling the appointment. No, you're not going to charge me for canceling the appointment when you didn't tell me it was going to be $1,200 until the night before the appointment. So I go to my regular doctor and I'm like, dude, he sees me in a couple of days. And he's like, no, there's no reason to think you have MS or any other neurological thing. Like this, your physical therapist has to tell you this to, because if she didn't and you did, that would be malpractice. But as your doctor, I can say, I think it's highly unlikely, and you would see these other symptoms first before you saw clonus in your feet. You would see all this other stuff. But no, don't spend this money when you're already on the hook for physical therapy and maybe surgery and all this other stuff. So this is the trouble. This is how hard it is in our society, and apparently in most societies. I don't know. I'm not here to argue about different ways of doing this, but our way sucks. Like the fact that we have a socialized system in the VA and Fireplug can't get treatment for a condition he knows he has, and then the fact that I'm in the free market system, and I can't get treatment when I might have the same condition. Something's wrong when we have both of these systems in the same society, and we've argued about it for decades, and neither of them work. There's something else going on, and that's when you have to so when you're in the line at Walmart beating people up for your big screen TV, you also have to say, get some help, and then you have to be compassionate. Maybe they have tried. Maybe they are actively trying to get help. And they just, see, this is why I make these videos, is by the end, I'm a better person. I started saying the best thing I can do is ask people to get help. And now I can forgive them for not getting help unless they're in my lane in front of me, and then they really need to get some help. Through this mess that we live in, we endeavor to find moments of peace in which we can connect with, I don't want to say our higher selves, because I don't like that hippy-dippy bullshit about like, oh, if you just find your higher self. No, there's no magic in it. That's way too easy. You got one self. You got to work on that one that you're stuck with. And so we find these moments of peace, and that's when you get to work on yourself. That's when you have the opportunity, is after you've left the trail of carnage in the big box store, and you've got your Christmas presents, and you're sitting in the car taking a breath, with everybody's blood and gristle on your knuckles, and you can access a little bit of what you want to be, right? And so back in 2009, and I posted a link to this on Thanksgiving Day. I don't know if anybody sees those kinds of posts on YouTube, because I don't know how that works. Posted a link to this video that I saw in 2009 from Mock Mark, who is now a defunct pipe presenter. I don't know, being a pipe presenter was not a thing in 2009. It was a crazy time to be alive. YouTube was in its infancy, and people were just making personal videos. It was a platform for people to express themselves personally, which I think is a lot of what we've lost, right? And so this guy smoking his pipe in the trees behind his mom's house on Thanksgiving Day. I was 28, and my brain was constantly searching for that moment of like, when do I get to be it? When do I have the resources to be a better person? And here was this guy smoking his pipe in the trees behind his mom's house on Thanksgiving Day, and it's cringy. It's a little quaint. It's got the 2000s just threw up all over this video. But it hit, that was it. That was the clue that like, maybe this is what I need. And that was a big reason why I started smoking a pipe. And my wife gave me my first pipe for Christmas in 2009, I think. So Mark, if you're watching this, I don't mean to steal your stuff, but thank you for making this video, because it opened up what we have here, and yeah, it's something else. Timber Drifter left a comment summing up very succinctly this video. I remember that guy. Every once in a while, YouTube will dredge up a few old pipe videos from the basement of time and dangle them in front of me to see if I will bite. I usually do. It's strange how this video seems like it's from another era, but it wasn't all that long ago. In this internet age, this video is the equivalent of someone in the distant past finding a weathered petroglyph pecked into the stone of a canyon wall. Deciphered, it reads, "I was here. Under these trees, I smoked my pipe." Thank you all for watching. I've mentioned how this process helps me every week. I hope it helps you, or that you're at least entertained. Enjoy this video from Mock Mark in 2009, and I hope you can get your greasy knuckles around some little moment of peace in this crazy, crazy time of the year. Keep the ends out for the ties that bind.
Happy Thanksgiving, pipe smokers. Hope you all had a good holiday. Take a moment. Be grateful for what you got. Be grateful for some things that you don't got. Hiding out here in the trees because it's really, really windy out here. I had big plans to do some smoking vids downtown here in Newport, Oregon. It's just too darn windy though. And I had other plans to make some pipe smoking mosey vids. Kind of thing that Maniacal Michael does. But I didn't bring my hiking boots and my hiking clothes. And it's like a swamp around here right now. But this is a cool little zone here behind my mom's house. Would show you the ocean view, but it's so foggy today you can't really see anything. Alright guys and gals, peace out. Sweet smoke. There's the sunshine.